Here are some things that all good readers remember. Predict what the book will be about. Ask yourself questions as you read. Try and work out difficult words. Listen to yourself as you read. Reread when you need to. Can you predict what this book is about? Click on a book feature to find out. Title. The title tells you something about the story. Can you predict what the story is about by reading the title? Illustration. The illustration on the cover of the book shows you something that is happening in the story. The picture on the front of the book shows you something you will find inside the book. What does this picture show you? What is this illustration about? Blurb. The blurb is on the back cover. It gives you a quick summary of the story. Can you predict what the story is about by reading the blurb? Table of contents. The table of contents is a list of the chapters in the story. Skateboards and Spaghetti. Written by Janice Healy. Illustrated by Michael Wilkin. Click on the speaker on each page to hear the story read. If you get stuck, click on the Help button. If you are having trouble working out a word, try these strategies. Skip the word and read on to the end of the sentence. Can you guess what the word is now? Does it make sense and sound right? Look at the start of the word. What sound do you hear when you say the first letter? Can you sound out the first 2 or 3 letters? Look at the whole word. Are there any parts you can sound out? Break the word into syllables. Reread the whole sentence. Can you think of a word now that makes sense and sounds right? Skateboards and Spaghetti. Written by Janice Healy. Illustrated by Michael Wilkin. Contents. Doing tricks. Page 1. The competition. Page 6. Pumpkin bales. Page 10. Time for lunch. Page 13. The burger burglar. Page 19. Nonna's spaghetti. Page 27. Map. Page 31. How to ollie. Page 32. I can talk skateboard. Page 34. Glossary. Page 36. Characters. Carlo. Stace. Benji. Pumpkin. Harry. Kylie. Chapter 1. Doing tricks. Watch this, I said. I kickflipped before rolling to a stop, centimetres from Stace and Benji. Great kickflip, Carlo, Benji said. He was putting on his pads while his dog, Doris, let Kylie rub her tummy. Stace made a face. I haven't got my board and gear, she said. Stace can do the best tricks in our gang. Pumpkin Patterson and Curly Top were skating on the skate bowl too. Pumpkin is 12, 2 years older than most of our gang. He thinks he's being smart when he calls my sister Kylie Tiny Turbo, but she doesn't care. Pumpkin and Curly have been mad at our gang ever since Team Turbo beat them in the Salt Spray Raft Race. That's when Pumpkin got clobbered by a rotten pumpkin and got his nickname. Pumpkin did a 180 kickflip and looked to see if we'd noticed. Let's have a competition. Curly and me against you two, he said. Chapter 2. The competition. Go and show them the trick you did last week, Carlo, Stace said. I dropped into the bowl and did a rock and roll, landing perfectly. Benji tried next but only managed a fakie, bailed and nearly ate the concrete. Doris rushed down after him and licked his face. "Get off, Doris. I'm all right," said Benji. He pushed her away. Curly tried to drop into the bowl, but ended up bailing and landing in a heap. Pumpkin was next. He sped down into the bowl and up the other side and totally aired. "Nice one," clapped Stace. "You're next, Carlo." I went flying towards Benji's lunchbox on the path and nollied over it. I knew Curly didn't know how to nollie. He would lose this skate competition for sure. "It's down to Pumpkin and you now," said Stace, after Benji chickened out. As I neared the top of my jump, I did a hand plant. I dropped back into the bowl. "Yes!" I yelled as my wheels touched the bowl. Chapter 3. Pumpkin Bails. "It's your turn, Pumpkin," Stace called. Pumpkin saluted as though he'd won already, then dropped into the bowl. He didn't make the hand plant and bailed. "You okay?" Curly said. He rushed to the edge. "Sure," Pumpkin said. He lay there, catching his breath. He gave a grin and waved, but you could tell it must have hurt like mad. He hobbled over to a seat. "I think we're the winners," Stace said. Pumpkin no longer seemed very interested. "I'm starving," Pumpkin said. He took some money from his pocket. "Go and get us some burgers," he said to Curly. "I'm starving too," Benji said. He was always hungry. Chapter 4. Time for lunch. "Hi everyone." Harry strolled over and joined us. "You're late. You missed a great show," I said. "Pumpkin Patterson had a mean bail off his skateboard," Benji said. "It must have really hurt, but he's pretending it didn't." Harry looked over to where Pumpkin sat on the bench. "Carlo is going to do a 360 kickflip on his skateboard," said Kylie. "Sisters can be a pain sometimes." I was hoping everyone would forget about the 360. I wasn't sure that I wanted to try that trick now. "Kylie, we've got to go to Nonna's for lunch," I said quickly. "We're having spaghetti." Our Nonna makes the best spaghetti. The sauce is so scrumptious. She makes it herself, not from a jar like most people do. She even makes the pasta. "Really?" said Benji. He had been to Nonna's once. "Can I come too?" "What about Stace and Harry? We can't just all arrive there without her knowing. There might not be enough food," I said. Then Benji had a bright idea. "Why don't you ring her and ask if it's okay? Harry can phone." Harry has this laptop that he can do almost anything on, including making free phone calls. "I don't know the phone number," I said. "I can use the white pages," Harry said. "What name?" "Same as mine," I said. "I was named after Nonno, my grandfather." "Try Maserati, CP." Stace winked at me. When I got through, Nonna got really excited and shouted, "Yes, yes! I will make a huge pot of spaghetti. Bring them all." Chapter 5. The Burger Burglar. There was a commotion on the other side of the park. Doris came bounding back towards us with her ears flapping. Curly followed close behind. Pumpkin Patterson shouted, "You thieving dog! You burger burglar!" Doris sped around and flopped behind Stace. She swallowed whatever she had in her mouth in great gulps. "That dog stole our lunch," Curly gasped. Pumpkin came hobbling up behind. "You lot owe me for lunch. That burger cost the last of my cash." He looked sad and mean. I guess he was still pretty sore from when he bailed. I didn't have any money, and Benji always spent his on food the minute he got any. "Pity Maddie's not here with the funds," Benji muttered to me. Maddie would have been the only member of Team Turbo to have spare cash to give to Pumpkin. "Well, what are you going to do about it?" Pumpkin stood in front of Benji with his hands on his hips. "Yeah," said Curly. "What?" "I've got to go to my keyboard lesson now," Stace said. She gave Doris one last pat and waved goodbye. Nice timing, Stace. That left only Benji, Harry and me to deal with Pumpkin, Curly and Doris. Then Kylie had to say something. "We're going to our nonna's for lunch," Kylie grinned. "She makes the best spaghetti." "Spaghetti, eh?" Pumpkin licked his lips. "We might invite ourselves to your nonna's too. We can pretend we're your friends." Harry shrugged his shoulders and stared at me with his eyebrows raised. Even Kylie looked worried. "Maybe," I said, trying to imagine what Nonna would say when we all turned up. "Show us the way," Pumpkin said. It felt strange walking down the street, me, Benji and Harry, with Curly and Pumpkin Patterson hobbling along behind. "I hope it's not too far," Pumpkin groaned. That's when Harry had a really good idea. "Let's take him the long way. Maybe he'll decide not to come." We walked all the way past the shops and the surf club, past the main beach, and then towards the reserve. "Are you having me on?" Pumpkin asked. "Nobody lives down here." "Not far now," I said. We turned left and went along a couple of blocks, then left again. "Straight ahead." We had to walk back 3 blocks in the direction we had come. Chapter 6. Nonna's Spaghetti. Nonna was watching for us as we came up her path. "How nice to meet your friends," she smiled. "I know Benji and Harry." "This is Pumpkin and this is Curly," I said. I felt weird introducing them as my friends. "What an interesting name," Nonna said. "She can be a bit funny sometimes. I had a friend called Daisy once, but I have never met anyone called Pumpkin." "Show your friends where to wash their hands, Carlo. Then sit at the table, everyone." Soon we all had bowls piled full of spaghetti in front of us. "Tuck in," Nonna said, looking happily at our wide tomato-saucy smiles. "That was the best spaghetti I have ever tasted, Mrs. Maserati," Pumpkin said. "You will have to come again," Nonna said when she waved goodbye. "I saw a photo on the wall when you were a baby," Pumpkin jeered as we left. "You had hair like a girl." "Everything back to normal, I see," I muttered under my breath. He and Curly went one way down Plover Street, and the rest of us turned towards the bay. Map. How to Ollie by Carlo Maserati. Step 1. Place the ball of your back foot on the tail of your skateboard. Place your front foot in the middle of your board. Step 2. Bend your knees, then slam your back foot down on the tail of your skateboard as hard as you can. As the tail of your board hits the ground, jump in the air off your back foot. Make sure you pull the back foot high into the air. Step 3. As you jump into the air, use the outside of your front foot to guide the skateboard as it flies into the air. Drag the side of your front foot up the skateboard. Step 4. Pull your knees as high as you can and keep your shoulders level with the board. At the top of your jump, have both feet level on top of the board. Step 5. Try and land the board so that all 4 wheels hit the ground at the same time. Bend your knees as you land. I Can Talk Skateboard by Carlo Maserati.
Dropping down the half pipe, getting on a roll. Pulling jolly ollies at the skateboard bowl. Goofy foot heel flip, air walk grab. Front side fakie and a sweet full cab. Kickflip in D, tic-tac tail tap. Backside salad shooter, mongo calf wrap. Dark side slide and a rail stand too. I Can Talk Skateboard. How about you?
Glossary. Air. Right off the end of a ramp or bowl. Bail. A crash while doing a trick. Drop in. Start off from the top of a ramp or bowl. Fakie. Skate backwards. Hand plant. One hand on the board and the other on the ramp or bowl. Kickflip. An ollie where the skateboard is flicked with the foot so that it spins through 180 or 360 degrees. Nollie. Same as an ollie, but push off from the nose of the skateboard. Rock and roll. Ride up to the lip of the bowl and then ride away. Let's do the Whizzy quiz for Skateboards and Spaghetti. Answer 10 questions correctly. See how long it takes. Type your name. Click on Start. Drag the 6 pronouns onto the picture. Yes, you, his, she, our, my, and he are all pronouns. Great work. Listen to the word curly. Drag the 5 words with the vowel sound onto the picture. Yes, burger, turbo, burglar, turned, and hurt all have the vowel sound. That's great. Drag the 5 words with the tr letter blend onto the picture. Yes, great work. Listen to these words. Team Turbo. The sounds at the beginning of the words are the same. This is called alliteration. Drag the 4 examples of alliteration onto the picture. Yes, Skateboards and Spaghetti, Burger Burglar, Raft Race, and Tiny Turbo are examples of alliteration. Move the pictures into the order that they happened in the story. Awesome! Revise the 10 mistakes in these sentences. Click Go when you have finished. Fantastic! What is a mean bale? Try again later. Move the pictures to match the words. Kickflip. Hand plant. Nollie. Totally aired. Awesome! Drag and drop the caption to match the characters. Pumpkin. Let's have a competition. Curly and me against you two. Stace. I've got to go to my keyboard lesson now. Kylie. Carlo is going to do a 360 kickflip on his skateboard. Benji. Great kickflip, Carlo. Yes. Drag 4 words with one syllable onto the picture. Yes. Fake, aired, yelled, and jeered all have one syllable. That's great. What is a mean bale? Yes, a mean bale is a skateboard crash that hurts. Great work. Let's make a spelling game. Type your name and click on Next. Look at these sentences from Skateboards and Spaghetti. See all the blue words? Choose 5 of the blue words for your spelling words. Behind. Burglar. Swallowed. Gulps. Spare. Click on Make Game to play the bubble spelling game. Roll over the word bubble to hear the word. Rabbit. Roll over the sentence bubble to hear the word in a sentence. The rabbit hopped across the paddock. Type the word. If you want to make a correction, press the delete or backspace button on the keyboard. Click Go and your letter bubbles will float into the big bubble. Click on Play. Now, spell the 5 words to win. Type the first word and click on Go. Behind. Curly followed close behind. Type the next word and click on Go. Burglar. You burglar? Try again. Try again. Type the next word and click on Go. Swallowed. She swallowed whatever she had in her mouth in great gulps. Try again. Swallowed. Type the next word and click on Go. Gulps. She swallowed whatever she had in her mouth in great gulps. Type the last word and click on Go. Spare. Maddie would have been the only member of Team Turbo to have spare cash to give to Pumpkin. Brilliant! You've spelled 5 words correctly. Now play again and choose another 5 words, or get a certificate. Silly story writer. Write a silly story for Skateboards and Spaghetti. Follow the instructions to write your silly story. Then click Next. Great job! Spaghetti Bowl. A silly story from Skateboards and Spaghetti. Now you can read your silly story. Click on Edit if you need to make any changes. Click on Print if you're happy with the story.